A lot of people ask, what's the point of federal trademark registration? Do you even have to do it? And if you don't have to do it, why would you even bother with it? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to talk about the benefits of federal trademark registration. Let's get into it. So here in the United States, there are multiple ways of creating trademark rights. We're going to talk about two of those ways right now. One of them is common law, and the other is federal registration. And if you're looking at those words and you're not really sure what they actually mean, don't worry. I'm going to break down both of these concepts. So let's start off with common law trademark rights. Now, here in the United States, trademark rights are created through use. That's not true in other countries. But here in the US, when you start to use something as a trademark, you begin to create rights in it. These are called common law trademark rights. And that's pretty great because as soon as you start to use it, you're building rights, and then there you go. Pretty simple, right? But the issue is that those common law trademark rights are based upon state law. And so your rights are going to be limited to the geographic area in which you are operating. And for some of you, that's great. That's no problem. Maybe you have a small business and you're not doing anything outside of your area, and you go your entire business life just relying on your state common law trademark rights. Totally fine. But then there might be others of you who are out there who are saying, I'm not content to just be doing my business in my small town. I want to be working in other states. I want to build my business nationwide, maybe even take it internationally. Well, in that case, you might want to expand beyond just having common law trademark rights. And we're going to talk about how you might do that in just a couple of minutes. But here's the thing about geographic scope and limitations on trademark rights. They are based on the area in which you are using your trademark. Now, for some of you, you might be saying, hey, I'm online, I'm operating everywhere. And for you, hey, that's great. You might have those common law rights that you're creating in a whole bunch of different states across the United States. But for the purposes of today's example, let's assume that you're just operating your small business in your town, wherever you happen to be. Let's say, for example, that you have a little mobile coffee cart that you take to your local farmer's market. You're not working online, you're not on social media. You don't need to because your coffee is so good. You just roll up to the farmer's market and you're selling out your coffee by the time they're tearing down the tents and carting away all the produce. Right? So for you, you might be fine just relying on your common law rights, and you're saying, I'm not going to expand beyond where I'm working. Great. However, what if someone outside of your area could be in your state, maybe on the other side of the state, or maybe somebody on the other side of the country starts to use a trademark that is similar to yours and is using it with goods and services that are related to yours? Well, that could be a problem because that other person is now creating their own common law trademark rights, and they might decide to federally register their trademark, and you could come into conflict with them. So one thing you might want to think about as you are expanding out your business is to think about how you can expand your protection. So one way to make sure that the public knows that you are claiming something as a trademark is to use the little TM symbol or the little SM symbol. TM stands for trademark, SM stands for service mark. You don't really have to worry about the difference between the two. They kind of mean the same thing. TM stands for a trademark, which is an indicator of goods, and SM is an indicator of services. But really, you can just use TM and it kind of covers both things. And here's the great thing about using the little TM indicator next to your brand name, slogan, or logo. There's nobody that has to give you permission to do so. Right now, you could put a little TM next to your trademark, and that's totally fine. There's no particular font that you have to use. There's no particular placement that you have to use it. There's no size that you have to use it. Oftentimes, people will put it on the right side of the trademark in either a superscript or in a subscript, but really it's up to you. And the great thing about doing this is you are putting people on notice, hey, this is my trademark back off. I am claiming rights in it. Now, the one thing that you can't do is use the little R in the circle symbol. That is reserved for trademarks that have been federally registered with the USPTO. Now, for some of you, you might say, cool, this is great. I'm good to go. I'm just going to rely upon my common law trademark rights. I'll put a little TM next to my trademark and I'm essentially saying, hey, this is mine. You guys can't use it to indicate the source of your specific goods and services. And that's great because federal registration is not a requirement. You never, ever, ever have to register your trademark with the USPTO. You could go your entire business life just relying on your common law trademark rights. Now, the problem becomes, how do you enforce that nationwide? It could get very expensive. It could get very time consuming. So for those of you who are interested in nationwide protection for your trademark, you might want to consider federal trademark registration. And the great thing about this is that these rights are created as soon as you register with us. And the rights that it creates is a legal presumption that you are the owner of the trademark and that you have the right to use it throughout the entire United States and its territories. That's not true under common law. Under common law, those are going to be state-based rights, and so you are going to have to go in and tell and prove to the judge or to the jury that you're the owner of the trademark and have the right to use it. Not true if you federally register your trademark. You can hold up your registration certificate and say, hey, judge, check this out. I'm good to go. Now, the other thing is you're putting the public on constructive notice that you are the owner of the trademark. And you can also bring legal action concerning that trademark in federal court. Again, not true under state common law. There, you're going to have to sue in state court. But with a federal registration, you can go to the federal courthouse that's nearest you or wherever it is that you need to sue somebody, and you can file there to take advantage of your federal rights. Another great benefit is that you can record your registration with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is a great benefit if you're in an industry where there are a lot of counterfeit goods that are coming into the country. Think electronics or software or apparel or footwear or pharmaceuticals or aftermarket automobile parts or maybe wine, or there for a while, a couple of years ago, it was personal protective equipment. So there's all sorts of counterfeit stuff that folks are trying to send into the country, and they're infringing on people's trademark rights. So if you have a federal trademark registration, you can say, hey, CBP, I registered my trademark with the USPTO. I would like to now record this with you. And CBP says, cool, thank you very much. And their agents will work to stop infringing goods at our ports and borders. Right? Those infringing goods that bear your trademark or a counterfeit version of your trademark. Another great benefit is that you can use your application or registration to extend protection into other countries. So if you want to, you can file in each of the countries on your own. But if you have an application or registration with us, you can take advantage of a sort of more streamlined way of going about that. Because remember, trademark rights on planet Earth are country-based. There's no one place you can go, file, and all of a sudden be protected worldwide. Because trademark rights are territorial. If you want protection in the US, you file in the US. You want it in Canada, you file in Canada. You want it in Mexico, you file in Mexico, and so on. So with an application or registration with us, you can then use that to try and extend protection into other countries in this more streamlined way. And in addition to that, you no longer need to use that TM or that SM, and instead you will use the R in the circle, which is really the gold standard when it comes to trademarks and to trademark registration. So that was a lot of information, but hopefully you now understand the difference between common law rights, which may be harder to enforce, and federal registration rights, which hopefully are easier for you to enforce. And so you can see the benefits of registering your trademark with us. And in addition to those benefits, other reasons you might want to think about it are the fact that you want to stop your competitors from being able to use a trademark that is similar to yours and used with related goods and services. And in addition, you probably spent a lot of time creating that trademark, right? It might have been you with your graphic design software, or you sketching it out on a napkin at your favorite coffee shop. Who knows what all went into the creation of the trademark? You're going to want to take steps to protect it. And maybe you have a big product launch coming up, and you want to make sure that you've secured those rights before your product is pushed out there to the public. And you also want to be able to show your investors that you take intellectual property seriously. You understand trademarks and you understand the value of your trademark. And that's why you decide to protect it by federally registering it with the United States Patent and Trademark Office.